MLB The Show 25 officially releases for everybody tonight. And before you begin your road to the show, embark on your franchise journey, or take your Diamond Dynasty team to glory, these are things that you need to know that the game does not exactly tell you. Today we'll talk about how to master hitting, how to become great on the mound, and just overall become an excellent MLB The Show player. Leave a like down below. If you guys do enjoy these videos, let me know in the comment section what mode and what are you going to do first in MLB 25, and subscribe to the channel if you're brand new. Let's go. The first thing that we need to talk about is attributes, because there is a lot of them, but not all of them actually matter. For batters, there's really 3 tiers of ratings. Contact and power are paramount when it comes to hitting. They're very important for your success. Fielding, the actual rating that determines how likely you are to catch a ball or make a play. That is, of course, big. Reaction, we'll talk about that more in a little bit, but the reaction rating matters more than ever, and it's arguably just as important as the fielding rating this year. And of course, speed. How fast are you? The second tier of attributes, plate vision, helping you make contact more and helps your timing window increase. Clutch, in big situations with runners in scoring position, the clutch rating actually takes the place of the contact rating for your batter. Arm strength and arm accuracy, very important, but not front and center. Blocking, if you're a catcher, is important. You're going to want to pay attention to that. And stealing, for a base runner, also you would like a high rating, but it is not the most important thing. And then the third tier of attributes that barely, if not at all, affect actual gameplay when you're controlling. Discipline. It helps you on check swings with a higher rating, but for the most part, it is a sim stat. Bunting and drag bunting, if you are a big bunter, I guess pay attention to these, but most people probably don't. Durability will help you stay on the field and avoid injuries, but it is not a very important stat unless you're playing a franchise. And base running aggressiveness, this is something that only affects the AI in terms of how likely a base runner is to take the next base or for them to steal. So obviously, every stat here is important, especially for simulating if you're going to do a franchise rebuild, like base running aggressiveness. Although it doesn't affect the actual gameplay that we're playing with our players because we control how aggressive they are, these are all going to affect offline sim, but there's 3 tiers. That's how I would rank really what you should pay attention to. On the flip side, for pitchers, basically everything is going to be important. Stamina is, of course, how long you're going to pitch without getting tired. Hit per 9 is going to prevent your opponent from getting hits. Strikeouts is going to get you more swings and misses. BB9 helps your pitchers be more accurate and command the strike zone. Pitching clutch, just like batting clutch, whenever there's runners in scoring position, the pitch clutch rating actually replaces your hit 9 rating. And then your control, velocity, and break, I wouldn't pay too much attention to those, because that is just an aggregate of all your pitches. Instead, look specifically at each individual pitch to see their control and break. Now, the one rating we did not talk about is the home run per 9. That does not affect gameplay when you're playing. It only affects simulation and how likely that pitcher is to give up the long ball. Something new this year in MLB 25 is ambush hitting. Now, I've seen a lot of confusion on what exactly ambush hitting is. Is it just guess pitch? Is it the exact same thing? Is it different? It is kind of similar to guess pitch, but it is very, very different. You are essentially guessing where you are hoping the pitch is going to wind up, but unlike the guess pitch feature from past MLB The Shows, when you use that guess pitch, you're selecting what pitch you think is coming and where it will go, and if you guess correctly, the game will tell you. It'll light up red, and it'll tell you that a 4-seam fastball is coming on the inside part of the plate. Ambush hitting will never tell you what pitch is coming, and it also will never tell you where it is going. You use ambush by using the right analog stick, pushing it either inside or outside. Whichever side of the plate you choose to ambush, your PCI will increase on that side of the plate, and on the opposite side, it will decrease. In the middle of the strike zone stays the same, your PCI as it was normally. And you notice if we go into slow motion here, the shrinkage of the PCI on the wrong side of your ambush is a lot different in size compared to the increase in your PCI on your ambush side. Meaning there is a benefit if the pitch goes to your ambush side, but there's also a big penalty if you are wrong. So for example, you ambush to the inside part of the strike zone, and if that pitch is coming inside, you'll have a larger PCI, meaning a bigger chance of getting a hit. Of course, if you're wrong and it goes outside, you are at a huge disadvantage from where you would have been normally had you not ambushed at all. So it is situational. For my time playing, it is something you want to use in early counts and when you're at an advantage or when you just really need something to go your way. If you're playing online and your opponent consistently throws to one side of the strike zone, ambushing is how you can punish them. So then on the flip side, if you're the one pitching, it really reinforces that idea of using the whole strike zone, not staying in one specific area, because you are highly susceptible to damage if they do ambush you. A big difference within gameplay in MLB The Show 25 has been the fielder reactions. The contrast of a great defender with high reaction rating and one with a poor reaction rating is very easy to notice this year, both for the outfielders and this year for the infielders. There is a lot of balls that will sneak through the infield in MLB The Show 25 due to a poor reaction that in previous years they probably would have got to. This emphasizes the point for you to get a player with a good reaction rating on your Diamond Dynasty squad, on your franchise, or if you're playing Road to the Show, it makes you want to upgrade that statistic. The fielding rating, of course, matters in making the actual play, but you're not going to have a chance to make it if your reaction rating is poor. And do not make the mistake if you're an outfielder thinking that their high speed can make up for a poor reaction rating. Again, in my experience, I think the more balanced players with pretty good speed and pretty good reaction are a lot better in gameplay compared to the high speed and not great reaction. Base running in MLB The Show 25 is definitely a bit different this year. I've noticed many occasions where base runners have a very difficult time quickly turning around or breaking off a base when tagging up on a fly ball. This year in MLB 25, I have probably gotten thrown out more in the first couple of days than I have in past years in probably a month's time. You can't so easily cheese your opponents or the CPU and quickly turn around on a ground ball to the shortstop, make a beeline at second base trying to take third base. I've tried that and my base runner stumbles, falls to the ground, and I'm thrown out. You really have to think. And the same for tagging up. In previous years with runners with the exact same speed, I found myself being far more successful than in MLB 25. Robbing home runs is completely changed this year. You won't have to zigzag, running like a chicken with his head cut off, going to the wall to prepare to rob a home run and jump up. This year, there's new animations that make the job easier so long as you time it right and have a good defensive rating. To be successful at robbing home runs, you're gonna have to practice. It will take some time. You'll have to really understand when you are supposed to jump. It is normally as the meter gets to the green region, but you want to hit the R1 button while you're a little bit before the wall. I do think once people start to master this mechanic a bit more, there will be more home runs being robbed than in years past. There are far more animations that should lead to more people leaping up and making big plays. Speaking of the big play, kind of in tandem with the poor reaction ratings that we talked about earlier, if you want to improve on defense, you have to dive. Most people who've been playing the game the past couple of years probably know this, but it is very easy to make diving plays. And the players can dive a pretty far distance as well. Even if it doesn't look like you're going to be able to make a play, hit the dive button and see what happens. For some reason, when you're playing online, the ball almost always suctions up into the glove. You make a lot of great plays. Offline, in Diamond Dynasty, like a mini seasons or conquest, or in a franchise, you don't see as many diving plays, but still, it is really going to help your players with poor reaction catch up and possibly still make a play on the ball. When you're hitting, most people, especially ones that are playing online, are going to use zone PCI hitting. That being where the user controls the left analog stick to determine where the batter is looking for the ball. It can be challenging to master both that and timing up the pitch, but that is how you can be the most successful within MLB The Show. However, you don't have to use that if you don't want to. There's options where all you have to do is time up the ball and hit the button when it's coming to the plate, where you get to play out the full stride of your hitter. As for pitching, there's a multitude of different ways to pitch within the game, and it has been confirmed by the developers that pinpoint pitching and analog pitching are the two most accurate inputs that you can use. So if you want to be the best of the best, I would recommend either of those two. But again, you don't have to use them. I suggest using what you're comfortable with. Pinpoint analog can be the most accurate in practice, but if you can't master them, if you're not good at controlling pinpoint pitching, for example, don't use it. Try meter pitching or something else that you have more success with. Every year, many people ask what is the best camera angle to hit and to pitch. And I would say there's no definitive answer. However, the closer you are, like a strike zone camera, for example, where you can see the strike zone very clearly, it is easier to hit and to perceive the strike zone. So that would be my preference. However, it is definitely not as cinematic as some of the more zoomed out hitting cameras. And then for pitching, a lot of the top players like to use a pretty similar pitching camera as they do hitting camera. The philosophy there is you technically see double the pitches, so you're going to have a better sense of the strike zone and how the pitches are going to move. But once again, it is all personal preference. Use what you like. And there we go. Those are some new things within MLB The Show 25 that you guys are going to need to know before you head on and play tonight. Once again, let me know in the comment section what you guys are planning on playing first when you hop on to MLB The Show 25. If you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like down below, and thank you all for watching.